Murder in the Dollhouse. Why did American millionaire Francis Lee spend a fortune creating dioramas of crime scenes? The hands on the clock in this dollhouse are forever set at 4:15, the time when, on August 23, 1946, police discovered the body of a brutally murdered high school student, Dorothy Dennison. On August 19, 1946, Dorothy Dennison went to the butcher shop to buy meat for hamburgers that her mother had promised to cook, but she never returned home. The police searched the entire city, looked in every corner, and finally found her body in the house of a pastor who was on vacation at the time. Dorothy's arms were spread out, a knife was sticking out of her stomach, and her whole body was covered in bites. Dorothy still lies in that very house. Around her head, a pool of blood has spread on the floor, in which a ribbon is soaked. This miniature diorama with the chilling murder scene was created by this sweet-looking pensioner. In an old photo, Francis Lee is at work. She's preparing a miniature outfit for her next dollhouse corpse. Since childhood, she loved crafts and detective stories about Sherlock Holmes. After growing up, she became the first woman in U.S. history to receive the rank of honorary police captain and the respectful nickname, the Mother of Forensic Science. Frances Glessner Lee was brilliant, witty, sarcastic, and, according to some eyewitnesses, an absolutely unbearable woman. The detectives she happened to work with adored her. Her family, however, was in no hurry to applaud her. Lee was self-taught. She owed everything to herself. According to Francis Lee's memoirs, her father, an influential businessman and millionaire, believed it was unbecoming for a true lady to go to school. She was educated at home. Her mother and aunt taught her interior design, drawing, and needlework. All these womanly skills later came in very handy for her in what seemed to be completely unwomanly work. In 1936, after the death of her parents and brother, she became the sole heiress to a huge fortune. By that time, Francis Lee was already in her late 40s. But only at this age was the woman able to devote herself to what she loved most of all: investigating crimes. Malicious tongues claimed that she had bought her place in the world of forensics. And that's true, but only partly. Francis made a generous donation to Harvard University to create a department of forensic medicine, which she later headed herself. She also generously funded the creation of a forensic science library at the university and conducted seminars on murder investigation, which she chaired. To win the favor of detectives and forensic experts, the millionaire threw lavish banquets for them. In the 1930s America, women had almost no chance of entering the field of forensic science. However, Francis Lee succeeded. And the decisive role here was played not by her money at all, but by her outstanding mind, insight, and innate talent for investigation. In training seminars for future investigators, she paid special attention to working with evidence. It was necessary to see how the crime had occurred. All the subtleties, how big, what was used to kill. That is, this was important for the further investigation. And this is where it occurred to her that she could create miniatures of these crimes. That is, to show to what extent, in what way, how it all happened. And Lee began to do this, and the criminalists were very grateful to her, because in this situation, they could see the whole picture. Francis Lee called her dollhouse trainers for investigators the nutshell studies of unexplained death. To create the miniature dioramas, she selected the most confusing cases to test the observation skills and logic of novice detectives. To create the dioramas, Francis Lee set up a workshop in her estate in New Hampshire. Each study cost her a pretty penny, from $3,000 to $6,000, and the level of detail is astounding. The tiny whistles work, you can blow them. The tiny pencils write, the keys turn in the doors. Fingerprints are visible on the doorknobs and light switches. The bodies of the doll victims are made with anatomical precision. To correctly reproduce the poses, wounds, and skin tones of the murdered, Francis Lee visited crime scenes and attended autopsies at the morgue. This is where her friendship with detectives and forensic experts came in handy. The mother of forensic science died in 1962 at the age of 83. However, her dioramas are still used in the US as training tools for future detectives. The work of Frances Lee has successors. One of them is American artist Abigail Goldman. Her dollhouse miniatures, which recreate crime scenes, can be found in various corners of the city of Bellingham, in the state of Washington. Here, a tiny lady shoots a stately man with an automatic rifle. And in this clearing in the woods, forensic scientists are already at work. The height of the human figures is no more than 2.5 centimeters. Goldman creates her miniature scenes with a magnifying glass and tweezers. For this, she uses elements from toy trains, craft supplies, and also uses acrylic paint to create her signature drop of blood. Abigail Goldman seals each crime scene in a transparent plastic case. Upon closer inspection, the viewer sees gruesome murder scenes and often exaggerated violence. The artist was inspired to create these miniatures by her study of the dark sides of the human psyche. She began her career as a crime reporter. Later, she worked as an investigator in the prosecutor's office and an investigator at a law firm, where she found information on old criminal cases. She still works as an investigator at a law firm today, and she has been making her imaginary crime scenes since 2011 to get rid of stress and relax after work. Abigail Goldman's unusual hobby has another reason. Strange as it may seem, investigating gruesome crimes helped her sort out her personal life. While still working as a crime journalist, Goldman met her future husband. The thing is, they investigated a murder together. Well, naturally, a connection sparked, a passion ignited, and then they met again at another one. This time, it was a suicide. Here, the attraction became even stronger, and after that, they were inseparable. Thanks to her husband, Abigail Goldman gained worldwide fame. Her spouse was so impressed by her unusual hobby that he once posted photos of the artist's dollhouse miniatures online. In a matter of days, the post gathered thousands of views and hundreds of comments. The creator of the gruesome dioramas received dozens of orders from galleries and private collectors. Many art connoisseurs saw something truly captivating in her chilling work. For example, the opportunity to feel like a detective. Because in these works, the viewer decides for themselves who is the victim and who is the villain. And sometimes the clue is hidden in the tiny details.